land surrounding the small community of Ada, Ohio is comprised of rich muck from the Hog Creek. Prior to the 1800s, Native Americans occupied northwest Ohio. Widespread agriculture was not practiced, but rather the Native Americans planted out small plots of land. In the early 19th century, settlers developed and drained the swampland for commercial agriculture. The first settlers planted a variety of crops, but today, northwest Ohio is home to thousands of acres of corn and soybeans. It is important to recognize how and why these changes occurred and understand the future prospects of the region.
Everyone had livestock, so basically you had corn, wheat, oats, and alfalfa, and very few soybeans. And then there were some specialty crops in the marsh. There were onions, potatoes, sugar beets, popcorn, and tomatoes. But the acreage of those was quite a bit smaller than everything else. Everyone had the general livestock, the corn, the wheat, this type of stuff. But the potatoes and onions were very specific to the type of ground you had. The beets and the tomatoes, about the majority of the ones out in the marsh raised the beets and the tomatoes. Just a few raised the onions and the potatoes. Simple reason, beans have become more important because they found uses for the beans. You know, the meal, the oil. Up until then, there wasn't a large market for meal and oil. Plus the fact that we didn't have good genetics in soybeans, they really weren't economical. No herbicides, so the weeds just ate them up. So it just was one of those things that it evolved as the market developed. Then the beans became more of a substantial crop. With some of the specialty crops, the onions and the potatoes were pretty much dependent on the muck soils. And as the muck soils became depleted, then it became more difficult to raise the onions and the potatoes. The muck was just going to subside anyway. I think probably a lot of it is probably the advent of good transportation. It's allowed the consolidation. Say we've got consolidated hogs, which are vertically integrated, livestock, which are beef, which is vertically integrated, of course, poultry. So you could take those and put them someplace where the environment was probably more conducive. Get them into southern, warmer climates where you could have more open housing. Of course, it was in a deficit position with grain, but with good transportation, you could take grain where we can grow grain very well and move the grain to where the livestock is and do it much more efficiently than having the livestock right here in this ground. So that's probably the biggest geographical change, is the fact that you can, with good transportation, you can move things around so much better and put them where they need to be. I think it's a positive change that we've done. Everyone, when my dad farmed, everyone plowed, which clean till, and that caused some problems with erosion. Caused some problems with to me, a detriment of the soil structure. Anytime you till soil, you lose organic matter. In the last probably 25 years, that process has now started to turn the other way. We do a lot of no-till. Probably 100% of soybeans now are no-till. I would say, I don't know how much corn is no-till, but I would say just about all of it is minimum tilled. We leave a lot of what we call trash on the surface. So in that respect, it's been good for the soil, because the less you till the soil, of course you have less erosion, and you start to build a different soil structure, and it's all good. I don't think you can do away with corn, and I don't think you can do away with soybeans, and those are the two major crops we have. You will see a lot of improvements genetically in those, where right now, in the last couple of years, there's been a big push to have corn that they call it an aqua, which is bred for drought tolerance. In the last 10 years, we've had a lot of genetics bred into crops for herbicide tolerance, for disease tolerance to combat bugs, so we don't have to put insecticides in the ground. So there's going to be a lot of this come down the road. It's already started, and they would just keep fine-tuning it where you can just kind of pick up a catalog at some point probably and say, I have this problem, this problem, this problem, and then come over here and say, oh, this will take care of that, and that's how you will pick your seed. I think we're coming to that.
The future holds many things for agriculture in Northwest Ohio. As we put more demands on the earth, farmers are coming up with improved methods of agriculture. Just as the first settlers adjusted the land to suit their needs, so too are today's farmers and innovators. While there will no doubt be changes to the crop structure, soybeans and corn will continue to have a strong presence in the agricultural life of the region.